The
I don't think
heartbreak's
it's that
gonna
one.
be the heartbreak's going to be Dr. Yaz related, I think.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I think they're just giving us the first taste of a happy ending for Dan, and that he's not sticking around after this run.
Yeah, I think it'll be a clean break. It makes sense that
Yep.
Russell T Davies is going to want to kind of do his own thing, cast who he wants, and you know, so I don't foresee Dan or Yaz being part of the cast moving on. So we do get the scene with the Doctor and Yaz. They're sitting on the beach. They kind of breach the topic again, and the Doctor's trying to explain herself, like, "Hey, I can't really fix myself to people. It ends badly. Eventually, it's going to hurt." And then Yaz kind of comes back and says, "Well, it's not worth doing if it doesn't hurt her." I don't know what the quote that her grandma said, but something like that. Do you have the quote? You're usually good about.
She says courage is knowing something will hurt and doing it anyway. Mind you, she also said it's the definition of stupidity. So, double-edged sword.
Right. Which it is kind of a lame excuse, like as the Doctor's kind of explaining herself, like, "Oh, well, it's not, I can't make that decision even though I might want to. And, it might hurt." I'm like, "Oh, come on. You've been alive for how many thousands of years? And, come on. You're afraid of a little bit of a relationship pain." So that seemed like a pretty lame excuse. And I think Yaz is kind of agreeing with me that it's a pretty lame excuse. So I don't know. I feel like they're trying to portray that the Doctor and Yaz do have feelings for each other. I think absolutely Yaz has feelings for the Doctor. And I think that they're trying to show us that the Doctor does reciprocate that. I think it would be a weird decision for them to introduce this as an idea, only to have the Doctor be like, "I'm not really that into you." Like, that just seems like a mean thing to do to the character of Yaz. If you're like, why even drag it out this long? Maybe have it happen in season 2 or something, so then there can be some recovery from it. But to have kind of the ending, there's only one episode left, to have the Doctor fully kind of deny her, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think there's going to be more to it before the Doctor leaves, and I think that that's going to lead to a lot more heartbreak, because there will be some sort of a confirmation, kind of like what happened with Rose. The Doctor is kind of like, "Hey, I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you there, but I'm burning up the star so I can tell you, this last thing." And then we don't hear what he says, but we all kind of know what he says. So I feel like we're going to have a similar thing with Yaz and this Doctor, that the Doctor will kind of ultimately fully admit her feelings, maybe even seal it with a kiss. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Yaz Doctor kiss in the next episode. I'll actually put that down as an official prediction. I think we're going to get a Yaz Doctor kiss. And then the Doctor's going to die, and it's going to be heartbreaking, because Yaz now has finally gotten what she wanted, and then only to have this person die. So yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way that they go. It feels like with one episode left, I don't know if we're still planning on talking about it or not, but with what it looks like they have shoved into the final episode, I just don't know if there's time for it to go any further. Like, this felt like, yes, things were expressed, but it still felt like there was a distance there. Like, the Doctor still doesn't know how to commit. I can't see this all of a sudden becoming something in the last episode. If anything, I'm going to go a separate direction and say, like, basically Yaz leaves, the Doctor has denied her one more time. And as she's out of the picture, out of the frame, the Doctor finally says like 3 words, like, "I love you," like, after she's already gone.
But she doesn't hear it.
But not to Yaz. And so it's like, we have that heartbreak moment where the Doctor finally has the ability to like confess the truth about herself, but it's to no one. And then she regenerates. Like, I just feel like that's what they're setting us up for this with the character. Like, it doesn't seem like she has any ability to speak the truth to anyone. And so she's ultimately going to finally confess the truth to herself and then it's going to be over.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a real possibility as well. So it'll be interesting to see which direction they go with it. I will say, just as a fan, I don't think they set the groundwork very well for this relationship.
Yeah. Agreed.
If this was the plan all along,
Agreed.
I think they could have done a much better job of setting it up and to make us have a little bit more of an emotional connection and care about this relationship. It feels, I don't know. I don't know what the intention was with the characters. I don't know if there was some kind of fan influence where there was a lot of people that say, hey, this would be a great moment for you guys to, do something like this. And I know there's a lot of people shipping those characters and it does happen, especially in modern media. Like, fans do have an impact. If there's enough of a call for it, that's pretty much why Rey and, Kylo kissed at the end of that movie, right? Like that probably never would have happened without the Reylos out there. So, yeah, I don't know if it was always the intention or if it was driven by, trying to please the fans, whatever the reason, but it does feel like it was poorly set up, and I don't care. I just don't care about the relationship. I cared about River and the Doctor. I cared about, Rose and the Doctor. I can't find myself caring about this one because it does feel so much like Martha, where it does feel like it's desperate. It feels like she's chasing, and I don't, it just doesn't have the same connection with me.
Yeah. I mean, even with Martha, like there was like that chemistry there. Like, even if Tennant wasn't going to do anything with it, there still felt like there was that playfulness. Like there was still that like connection. This doesn't, like, there's not that, like, there's not even that subdued, like, back and forth play with this. Like, it just seems like there's nothing. And it's like the dialogue is leading us somewhere different than how their interactions is leading us. Like, when they're together, their actions say something different than their words. It's just, there's not that same look in their eyes, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it could be some of it's just the way, like I said, the awkwardness of the way she's playing the Doctor. That's part of the Doctor's personality.
Yep.
Is she's just bad with relationships, and it works in friendships, it works in romantic relationships. She's just always going to be awkward. And maybe that's part of why it doesn't seem like there's chemistry, because she just can't have chemistry.
Yeah. And that's why I think
the actors, I don't know. I can't really nail it down as to why it doesn't seem like the chemistry's there, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't think they set it up very well. There's more they could have done throughout for me to be like, oh, okay, like I'm rooting for these two. It still feels very, it just doesn't feel like they've earned it, maybe, like to kind of make me care. I'll still care if she, if they have some kind of emotional scene at the end and the Doctor dies and Yaz is crying. Like, I'm not a robot. Like, I'll probably feel bad and get some tears in my eyes, but I just don't see it having the same emotional impact maybe that some of the previous relationships have had.
Third theory, Yaz goes bad. She's the cause of the Doctor's death. That's the third. So
she's just so distraught that she's like, if I can't have you, no one can have you.
The unrequited love. She joins with the Master and takes her down.